Hi, my name is Alina and this is Come to Study program where we are talking a lot about students, culture, Toruń and Bydgoszcz, about the university and everything that young people should know when they want to study abroad. So I invite you to take a moment and watch this episode.
The program is co-financed by the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange.
Studying in Toruń has one big advantage. Toruń is a really beautiful town with a unique atmosphere. There is always something going on, but no worries, we have a little guide for you.
Toruń is one of the most beautiful Polish cities, picturesquely situated on the Vistula, Poland's largest river. Each year, the city attracts over 2 million tourists. Its old town, dating back to the 13th century, is on the prestigious UNESCO World Heritage List. Charming alleys, monumental Gothic churches, beautiful town hall and the spirit of Nicolaus Copernicus, the symbol of the city and the patron of the University of Toruń, distinguishable at every step, makes each visit to Toruń an extraordinary adventure. Regardless of its historical origin, the city is constantly developing and provides its residents with entertainment and access to culture at the highest world level. The city's pulse is perfectly discernible by Ewa Banaszczuk-Kisiel, head of the Promotion and Tourism Department of the City Hall. She knows everything about all the main events in the city, organising many of them. She was born in Toruń, remained faithful to the city, and is an alumni of Nicolaus Copernicus University.
So what is Toruń for me? This is the city where I was born, this is the city where I chose to study and where I chose to live. I could live anywhere in the world, but I decided to come here because I love the city. It's a historic place, but it's also the city just good to live in.
Hi Eva, thank you for coming to our program. We both are living in Toruń and we can definitely say that it's a really beautiful town, but is it a town where it's good to study or rather not?
I believe it's good to study. I studied here even though I was born here in Toruń, and most people want to study in a different place than they were born, but I think that this is the best place to study because it's a young city, a vibrant city, a historic city, and you can meet different people from different places, different countries, and the city itself has this thing, this atmosphere that makes it really pleasant to stay.
Exactly, and we also have a lot of international events, like sport events and cultural events. Can you tell more about that?
Yes, the events. I think the city has more events than days in a year because we once counted how many cultural events a year we have, and it appeared that there's more than 1,000 events a year. Of course, these are small exhibitions and big cultural events, but when you put it all together, it's like more than 1,000 events, so it's a lot. And talking about events, I think it's worth mentioning that we are the host cities to big festivals, for example, film festivals, like Camera Image Festival that hosted in Toruń, Danny DeVito, Quentin Tarantino or Richard Gere. But we are also a host city to Toffee Fest Festival. It's a small film festival, but it also guested, for example, Emmanuel Seigner. So a lot of events. Talking about sports events, we cannot forget about the European Athletics Indoor Championships that are starting in March this year, and it will host like 1,500 people from all over Europe. But every year for more than 10 years now, we've been a host to Speedway Grand Prix. So a lot of events, like every month in a year, something's going on.
And you also mentioned the architecture. What are the biggest tourist attractions in town?
We monitor the tourists that come to Toruń, and what they mention is always Copernicus and Gothic, and also the old town of Toruń. And I would say these are the three icons of the city that are worth coming here, because there's a lot of churches which still remain very historic. You can go to the cathedral, where there's a baptismal font of Nicolaus Copernicus, because Nicolaus Copernicus was born in Toruń. We also have the house where he lived. There's a museum right now in this house. So I believe that Copernicus, Gothic, and the old town itself. Of course, Toruń is also inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, and it's also a big, a very important thing for us, because not many places in the world are inscribed in this list. So we are also very proud of it.
And what are the three places you would recommend? Like, which are your favorite places to go when you have free evening or free afternoon?
The old city itself, wherever you go in the old city, there's this special thing, I would say, like I said in the beginning, the special atmosphere of the city. You can sit in a restaurant, have a coffee or have a beer, and of course you will just feel the city and taste the city, and this is very important. I would also believe that the Museum of Toruń gingerbread, because gingerbread is the specialty of Toruń, and we have two museums of gingerbread and many different places where you can bake gingerbread yourself. So I would say that this is worth visiting, and probably the Nicolaus Copernicus house and planetarium. Yeah. I would say these are my number one places.
Yeah, they are very special. I love them too, especially this gingerbread house. It's really worth to see. You mentioned the tourist base. Is there enough space if any international student would love to invite their friends or family to come and visit town?
Oh, definitely yes. Before the pandemic time, we've had 2.5 million tourists a year, and it was a big number of tourists, and you could feel the people here in the city. But also the accommodation, I would say, is very good, and there's a lot of hotels and hostels, but also a lot of Airbnbs. So it's not a problem to find a place here, and you can live in the very center of the city, for example, which is not a well-known fact, but you can, for example, hire an apartment in the old town hall and stay there for a couple of nights. So just come and taste it yourself.
What is the best season to visit the town?
I think every season has something in it. Whether you come in winter or in summer, the city is really beautiful. What makes it maybe more special in the summertime or springtime is that you can use the Vistula river. You cannot swim in the Vistula river, but you can take a boat, rent a boat, or you can row yourself if you like. So I think the spring and summer would be more friendly, but in the winter time or in the fall time, it's also very beautiful. So I believe that every student will find something for themselves here, and there's a lot of things going on, and in many aspects of the city, in many aspects of life, and everybody will find something interesting for him or herself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.